Good evening. You're watching Left, Right and Centre. I'm Nidhi Razdan. On the show this evening, was Rahul Gandhi right all along? As a political fight breaks out over the alleged role of the Lashkar-e-Taiba and Muzaffarnagar, controversy over the riots and their aftermath consistently dogged the UP Chief Minister. Will the Muzaffarnagar riots lead to Akhilesh Yadav's downfall? Also tonight, Priyanka Gandhi creates a flutter after meeting senior Congress leaders at Rahul Gandhi's house. Should she have a greater role in the Congress's 2014 campaign? And even if she does, will it make a difference? That's a little later, but first, the Delhi police today claimed it had arrested 2 alleged Lashkar-e-Taiba operatives for trying to recruit men from Muzaffarnagar, but said that they did not approach anyone who were affected by the riots. This comes 3 months after Rahul Gandhi created controversy by saying that he had been told by the Intelligence Bureau that the ISI was in touch with Muslim youth in the riot-hit region. As a result, the Congress today said this vindicated Rahul's position, while the BJP was dismissive and the Samajwadi Party wondered whether this was all cooked up to prove Rahul's story.
मेरे कमरे में ऑफिस में एक पुलिस का अफसर आया इंटेलिजेंस का और वो कहता है मुजफ्फरनगर में जो आग लगी है ऐसे 10-15 लड़के हैं मुसलमान लड़के हैं और पाकिस्तान से लोग उनसे बात करना शुरू कर रहे हैं.
Rahul Gandhi created a national storm with these comments about Pakistan's ISI fishing in troubled Muzaffarnagar waters. The controversy got a fresh twist on Tuesday after reports that Lashkar-e-Taiba operatives were indeed hunting in the riot-hit areas of western Uttar Pradesh. Statements of 2 men from Muzaffarnagar to the Delhi police have revealed that the LET was trying to recruit men from the area. The Delhi police had arrested 2 imams, Mohammad Shahid and Rashid, both alleged Lashkar operatives in early December. Special Cell police say they tracked down Liaquat, a teacher with the Uttar Pradesh Education Department, and Zamir, a small-time criminal living in Shamli district. But the police have made it clear that the arrested men are not riot victims, but lived in villages where people fled out of fear.
आपको क्लैरिफाई करना चाहता हूं कि लियाकत और जमीर दोनों मुजफ्फरनगर राइट्स विक्टिम नहीं हैं.
The Delhi police are now armed with witness statements and they claim that there are few more people, alleged Lashkar operatives, who may still be active in the riot-hit districts of western Uttar Pradesh.
अगर ये बात सही है कि लश्कर-ए-तोयबा के कुछ लोग गए थे, तो वो बात सही होती है जो माननीय राहुल गांधी जी ने अपनी कही.
केंद्र की सरकार जिस तरह से इस पूरे के पूरे दंगे पर राजनीतिक रोटियां सेक रही है, तो ये अपने आप में बहुत दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण है, बहुत खतरनाक है और इसकी जांच होनी चाहिए कि इस दंगों के पीछे का जो बहुत कुछ सच है वो क्या है.
अब जाहिर है युवराज की बात को सच्चा करने के लिए भी ऐसा हो सकता है.
And it's not just politics. The security establishment too doesn't seem to be on the same page on the issue. Sources in the Home Ministry say that investigations are still at a nascent stage and the Lashkar-e-Taiba link in Muzaffarnagar is not fully established yet. The last on the alleged LET plot is clearly yet to be heard. NDTV Bureau Report.
So this is the latest twist to the entire issue of the Muzaffarnagar riots and their aftermath, and there has been consistent controversy over that story since the riots first broke out. The question we're asking tonight is whether ultimately these riots are going to define Akhilesh Yadav's chief ministership of Uttar Pradesh and will eventually lead to his downfall. Joining us tonight first we have from the Samajwadi Party senior leader Gaurav Bhatia, from the BJP national spokesperson Siddharthnath Singh. Also with us Sankarshan Thakur, the roving editor of the Telegraph, Harsh Mandar, activist, someone who has been repeatedly to Muzaffarnagar's camps over the last few months. His group has had detailed reports on the conditions of those camps. We'll also be joined by Abhishek Singhvi of the Congress party shortly. Gaurav, let me ask you first. The Samajwadi Party seems to be very skeptical on this issue of this alleged LET connection with Muzaffarnagar. We could see that from Azam Khan's statement today that naturally if the Yuvraj had said it, so it had to be proven. Does the SP believe that this is all some cooked up plot?
Nidhi, whether it is cooked up or not, I cannot comment upon it. But I think the Home Ministry has made a very pertinent point that the investigation in these matters is at a very early stage right now. I am wondering why the police department rushed in having this press conference. And in fact, it would have been more responsible for them to share this data and information which is sensitive with the state government so that the movement of such suspect people could be actually monitored and action could be taken rather than going for a press conference. And it cannot be ruled out because the Vice President of Congress had made a statement in a public rally. Now to vindicate his stand, this press conference was organized because there wasn't much of substance in this press conference. So I really doubt the real intention behind this press conference. And I was watching senior leaders like Mr. Digvijay Singh also came out, and the first comment that he made was that now what Mr. Rahul Gandhi said has been substantiated by the press conference. So it can't be ruled out that the real motive for this press conference was to do politics over the Muzaffarnagar riots than to share anything substantial with the public.
But is it also dangerous to look the other way and see it purely through a political prism? This is, after all, an important national security issue as well. If indeed the LET has been able to go to these regions and try and influence and recruit young men there, it's a matter of serious concern. So should you be so dismissive of it either?
It is a matter of serious concern, Nidhi. It is a matter of serious concern, and that's why I said that it is important that we forget politics. We forget that there is a central government and a state government. We need to fight these terrorists together. And for that, it is important that if there is any sensitive information that has been gathered by the Central Intelligence Agency, it should be promptly shared with the state government.
All right, I just want to take this to Harsh Mandar because Mr. Mandar, you've been repeatedly going to these camps in Muzaffarnagar and Shamli over the last few months. Did you pick up anything at all? Because this story does seem to have come a little bit out of the blue, because we did hear the Home Ministry telling Parliament only in the last session that there was nothing to suggest any link between the ISI and Muslim youth in this area. So anything you picked up at all on the ground there?
I really find it unfortunate, this is really one of those, plays into a whole set of prejudices. This kind of knee-jerk kind of idea that, where Muslims are being oppressed or suffering injustice, they will turn to radicalism. In fact, the experience in India has been quite the reverse. You look at Gujarat, 11, 12 years, extreme injustice and suffering, but there's almost no report of radicalization that has come out. People have used the legal process, the democratic system. And I think that's the central question here. And to make this kind of wild speculation, I mean, it's very much like saying, we should do something for the tribals, otherwise they'll become Maoists. We should do something for the Muslims, otherwise they'll become jihadis. I think that this is absolutely, we should do something for the survivors in Muzaffarnagar, because it is ethically the right thing to do, because they're suffering injustice, because the state government continues to be in complete, I mean, it's incredible what they've done, and I think that's the central question. That even, after all the focus and our last report and your reports, and everybody's been going there, to actually further run bulldozers over camps. I've not seen that happen even in Gujarat. At the height of winter, you can't force people to go back to their homes when they feel insecure.
So you're saying, are you saying that the issues are being diluted as a result of these controversies, that the real issues that matter are not being focused on?
Absolutely. Firstly, they're being diverted, and secondly, that we are playing into dangerous stereotypes in the most casual way to suggest that because there's injustice, there will be radicalization. I think there's no such linkage. We have a democratic country, and the large majority of Muslims believe and depend upon democratic processes to address their legal issues.
Siddharth Singh
and their injustices.
Okay, Siddharth Singh, the BJP normally, is very concerned about national security matters, and this would, in one sense, if proved to be correct, be then a very serious national security matter. And yet today, are you seeing this through a political prism as well? Do you also question how this has all come about?
No, I think, Nidhi, you may have heard during the day our spokesperson speaking about it. And I'm here on your channel. I think it raises more questions about the national security, and that's what our concern is all about. We all must look from first, rather than political side. I think this is an issue which should be looked from the national perspective and the national security. If you look at it, it is 4 months back, Rahul Gandhi had said in one of the election rallies. Now it's taken 4 months, and we find there is no coordination. If it is, if this is let's consider it's true, then for last 4 months there's no coordination between the Home Ministry or let's say the central intelligence agencies, the state intelligence agencies, and the Home Minister comes in the Parliament and says there's nothing like that. The state government also denies about it, and then we see that as a special Delhi police, and that too a Delhi police and their special cell comes up with this, that there is, and these are the names, these are the imams, these are the boys, and Ministry of Home Affairs still being a little skeptical as per your NDTV report which I was reading. So all these things raises a serious national security concern. Are we compromising? Are we not there to gather information and then burst these modules? So all these things are more of a concern than the political side. But yes, I hope, and I really hope, what the Samajwadi Party is hinting at, and one of the senior leaders who have said, is not true, because that will be a very sad day for the Indian national security and the way the politics will be played out.
All right, let me get a quick comment from Sankarshan on that before we move on to the issue of how Akhilesh Yadav has handled on this. Sankarshan, what are you picking up from this story yourself?
Nidhi, very often what comes out of the labyrinths of intelligence corridors and police operations, I shudder to endorse, much less promote. So I will still take all this with a bit of skepticism. But I think if what Rahul Bhatia was suggesting, that the state government has not been passed on this information, or has not been information has not been shared with it, however half-baked, however sort of unverified, then it is a matter of concern, because I think such issues, if they are true, are of serious concern. And governments should be, and its wings should be able to coordinate their efforts on them without making them bits of political volleyball. I think before the Delhi police went public on this, or the UP government rightfully should have been taken into confidence, informed. Ideally, these investigations should have happened away from the public eye, and once you reach firm conclusions, then you sort of make announcements of the kind that have come out.
And they rarely are held, privately and properly the way that they should be. But there is a more important story here, Gaurav Bhatia. That is the issue of the way these riots have handled and what has unfolded in Muzaffarnagar over the last few months. At the end of the day, there are two issues that really have to be pointed out here. One is, why are people not willing to still go back to their homes? Why have these camps been shut down? These are the real issues, despite the cold weather, despite everything. What is Akhilesh Yadav thinking, Gaurav? What's going on?
Nidhi, I will answer your question, but permit me to just completely place my point. First of all, the kind of extensive package or relief measures that were taken by the state of UP have never been taken by any other state government. But I am not here to pat our own back. The point that I am making is that if there was any shortcomings, those were pointed out and the state government was acting upon it. I'll give you an example. In the month of September, end of September, there were around 51,000 people who were there in relief camps. That number has come down to 3,000 now. It is only because of the confidence building measures of the state government that it has happened. If there were deficiencies which were pointed out, like medical teams should be there, more doctors should be there, medical checkups should be conducted, blankets are to be distributed, food grains, milk, everything was done by the state government. The relief package that was given by the state government was also of more than 100 crores for 1,800 families. So it can't be said that these relief camps have not been taken care of by the state government. In fact, even your channel NDTV was showing, I was watching it, that there are certain political persons also who are trying to misguide these people who are staying in the camps, and they are saying if you leave the camps, then you will not be a beneficiary of the scheme that the state government is floating. So all this can't be ruled out. Yet I would like to say we are committed to provide all relief facilities to the victims till they leave the camps. Now, Mr. Mandar were making a point that,
Isn't it true that
camps
have been forcefully shut down, Gaurav? Why have camps been
That's what I was
shut
coming
down?
to, Nidhi.
Yeah.
That's what I was coming to. The camp that was shut at Loi was never shut forcefully. In fact, there was a picture of a JCB that was shown by NDTV. It was not a bulldozer. That JCB was of the person who was in charge of the camp, and since he had done the filling at the time when the camp was installed, he was allowed to remove that mud from there. And in another program, I had requested Mr. Mandar, where I was also a panelist, that since he has visited the site, if he has any positive suggestions, he can share it with us. And he said that he would, but I have not received those suggestions. I will again request him, if there are any deficiencies, if there is anything that the state government can improve, I urge him to share it with us, and we will ensure that those lacunas or shortcomings or better facilities are provided.
There's a very simple question here about Akhilesh Yadav and how this has affected him and his image and his tenure, because it seems increasingly now that he is going to be defined by these riots. A young leader who seemed very promising when he started out is now going to have his tenure completely marred and defined and tainted by this. And I'll give you other examples. We had a report just yesterday which Akhilesh Yadav confirmed to us on record that the state law department has asked whether cases against the Muslim leaders who were booked for their hate speeches for Muzaffarnagar can be dropped. Akhilesh Yadav told NDTV that asking for information about these cases does not mean we are actually withdrawing them. This is just an inquiry that has been made. There have been statements made by him about the relief camps, by his father, that there are no victims left in the camps, there are only conspirators of the Congress and the BJP. Is this something that is going to now define him and hurt him irreparably, Gaurav?
Nidhi, you have asked me two questions and I'll reply to both. First of all, to judge the CM of UP only by what happened in Muzaffarnagar would not be fair. If Muzaffarnagar also has to be kept in mind, then the relief package, the efforts that were put in, the seriousness that the Chief Minister showed should also be taken account of. And secondly, there is a positive development agenda. There is an agenda of growth. There is a vision that the state of UP has seen. The eradication of corruption, the fight against corruption that the current government is fighting. All these would also be big drastic steps by which the Chief Minister would be judged. And secondly, you said that in Muzaffarnagar, this problem is coming and leaders are making statements. Let me say this with all the responsibility that I have at my command, that the Chief Minister also said that these cases that are being, inquiry has been made regarding withdrawal of cases is only an inquiry made by a person in the law department. And the Chief Minister said that if somebody has made a mistake, action would be taken. And I would clarify, Nidhi, that the stage right now is of investigation. At this stage, nobody can withdraw a case. That stage of withdrawing a case has not come. And therefore, not much should be read into an error that has been made by a person in the law department.